You cannot wear that on the podcast. You have to go change right now.
Drew, I have a prediction.
What's your prediction?
This might be, at least to date, the most controversial movie we've talked about on this podcast. Name one that will be more controversial than this movie.
Is our opinion controversial or is the movie itself controversial?
I'm talking about, like, the movie as a whole.
Okay.
I don't know if our opinions will be, like, the most
controversial about this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think we have more controversial opinions about different movies.
Yeah, we definitely do. I'd say this is up there for sure.
Are there any other episodes that we've done that you're like, that rivals it? I think we talked about Die Hard, whether or not that's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, we did.
That one was kind of controversial, I guess.
But, like, this is more controversial than Die Hard, I think.
I'd say right now, culturally. No,
Yeah.
I think all-time Die Hard's more controversial, but not as a movie, just as, like, is it a Christmas movie?
But that's, like, a fun, controversial debate. This is like
an actually
This is like an actual, not... Well, yeah, it's not a fun debate.
This is a debate.
This is a debate.
That we're about to have.
That we're about to have.
Welcome back to Stole My Line, a Fireside film podcast where we are talking about Michael, the movie.
It's true.
I'm a little sick right now, so I'm sorry I sound a little down, but I'm super excited to talk about this movie. Drew, what were your expectations going into this movie? Because I feel like that's an important starting point for at least us and most people going into this movie.
My expectations were basically nothing until 2 weeks ago on the record. It's on a episode. I don't know which one. You said this is an incredibly controversial movie, and I'm like, oh, no way, why? Then you gave me a little backstory, which we'll get into in a second. So my interest was piqued, but then all the reviews came out, and it was like mid-biopic, basically. And
which is what critics were saying.
That was the buzz.
And I was kind of like, oh, dang, this might suck.
So I think I don't really like biopics, biopics, whatever.
We'll settle it whether it's biopic or
tomato. I'm kind of tired of the genre in general.
Yeah.
So my expectations were mid-entertaining movie.
Okay.
Yeah. What were yours?
There's a lot of backstory that we'll get into. I'm not going to give all of it. I was extremely worried about this movie from the moment it was announced. Because
right. I mean, this is fair.
Michael Jackson is probably the most controversial, or maybe not the most, but like top 3 or 5 most controversial person you can make a music biopic about. And they were like, we're doing it.
Yeah. Which it was going to happen at some point.
And then there were good notes that I was like, okay, Coleman Domingo's in this movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miles Teller.
Miles Teller's in this movie. Okay.
Tessa Thompson's low-key like a cameo, but she's here.
She was?
Tessa Thompson's in this movie.
Wow, I just might have completely missed that.
I'm doubting myself.
I'm not sure she is. But then Jaafar Jackson was casted. I was like, okay.
That was an interesting. That is still interesting.
Now, there's a lot of ways you go with that. You could say this is a little bit of like the family interfering. But like, I think of all the casting choices you could have made, that's a pretty solid one. Casting his own nephew. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool with me. And then I was excited for this movie because I love MJ the Musical, which I'll talk about a little bit later in this podcast, but I liked that musical a ton, and I was like, okay, this movie could be really good because it's kind of been done before in some art form, not like a full biopic, but like something about Michael Jackson.
Right.
And then I was really 50-50, reviews came out, and then I went to all the movie. And we haven't talked about what we actually think.
No, we haven't.
That was my build-up. So I kind of thought this is going to be controversial, and we got all of that.
Definitely.
That expectation was met.
I think it still is controversial.
Yeah. This
but not for the reasons that it maybe should have been.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Also, Tessa Thompson's not in this movie.
Okay, I didn't think she was.
I thought she was like the manager chick, but she's not.
No. I know you're thinking of different Marvel girl. It's the girl from Spider-Man Homecoming.
From also from...
She plays Liz.
Also from the Spike Lee movie with Denzel's...
Black Klansman.
Yes.
Great movie. That's a fun movie. That's a banger. Yes. I forget her name. I'm so sorry.
Why did I think it was Tessa Thompson? They don't really look similar.
No, they don't. It's an MCU thing, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
Here we are.
What did you actually think of this movie?
I thought it was a mid-biopic.
Mid. Are you like hammering mid, or are you like it was middle of the road, but like leaning good or leaning
I would say
bad?
middle of the road, leaning good. I think
Okay.
Michael Jackson is an incredibly... Okay, also for context. Wow, my throat is scratchy too.
Yeah, we're kind of sick on this podcast.
I don't know a ton about Michael Jackson.
That's fair.
I know the big allegations, right? But everyone knows that. But like, I didn't know... I knew the Jackson 5, obviously. And this was probably the biopic that I knew the most songs from.
Yeah?
Because like,
Because
we
it's
watched
Michael
Bob
Jackson.
Dylan. I couldn't name you a Bob Dylan song. I've seen Bohemian Rhapsody. I know the big ones. Those are really the only ones I've seen, really. So
Yeah, I mean, those are the big ones, the heavy hitters.
So I loved the music, was super entertained. I thought Michael as a character was super intriguing, super interesting. I don't know how accurate it was.
That is part of this
And
movie.
I don't know what bias this movie had.
I can tell
towards
you some of the biases.
Michael. So
Yes.
as a movie, I was entertained. It kind of dragged on to me.
Okay.
Like it was 2 hours, and I'm like, low key.
It felt longer.
The third act, I'm just kind of like, I'm not really into it. And then it's
Okay.
like, oh, and we're done. I was like, okay, that was a weird ending, but here we are.
Yeah, I see how you got there. Please hold. We will get into the
I'm
backstory
holding.
on this movie.
Okay.
I will say, I thought this was good.
I do think it's good. I think
Like-
it's like a good theater experience.
In the sense of like, I had a good time.
Yeah.
It's not a bad movie.
Right.
Like, now, some people will argue it's a bad movie because of certain things it doesn't do and certain things it does do. But like, if you're taking this as just a movie, I think if it was anybody other than Michael Jackson, I would have said this is a mid biopic.
Right.
I think this is elevated literally only because it's Michael Jackson.
And like, I kind of agree with you.
And like, this isn't really a spoiler. We will give like a spoiler warning for some person that was real.
Yeah.
But like, the Thriller scene, incredible.
So awesome.
If this had been about, I don't even know, just insert somebody. Like, if this was about Leonard Skinner, I would have been like, I don't care about this scene. But this is about Michael Jackson. I love
Right.
Leonard Skinner. That sounds bad. But like, this is about Michael Jackson. So the Thriller scene is incredible, right? And like the music, you're just kind of like bobbing your head the whole movie. Like, I had a great time with that.
Yeah, it's true.
And I thought Jaafar was great.
I thought he killed it.
And I said this in my letterbox. This might be the performance of the year. That sounds crazy.
But this goes back to the Timothée Chalamet conversation.
I agree. But like, he captured him so well. I
Yeah,
say this is not really
no,
Michael
I
Jackson
agree.
fit, but you feel like you're watching Michael Jackson.
And I watched an interview with him, and he literally worked for 3 years for this movie.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like acting school. He had never acted before,
Yeah,
which is wild.
yeah, crazy.
And then you take on playing Michael Jackson,
Yes.
maybe the most iconic person of,
ever.
of the like
He's probably
19th, 20th,
he's
and
probably
21st
a top
century.
3 most famous person globally, behind Jesus and
Like Muhammad.
there's
Like low key.
I mean,
he might be.
He's probably top 10.
He's
That sounds
definitely
crazy,
top
but
10.
like, people know Michael Jackson globally.
Yeah, no, it's true.
He's got fans that aren't even born yet. I mean, that's how this is. I will say, like, overall, I had a good time with this movie.
Yeah.
If you get hung up on the things it doesn't do, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
If you shelve the things that this doesn't do, you can have a good time with this movie. I don't think this is an all-world movie,
Right?
but I'm curious how this plays as a part 1, which we will also talk about.
Ooh.
Because that is part of this conversation.
And
now.
here's the thing. If the ending is a cliffhanger,
Which it kind of is.
it is. Now, I think it could go either way. If studios like, oh, we don't want to touch the later half of Michael's life, we could just end it here.
which
and
is,
I think it'd be
this
fine.
will make enough money for them to do it. It will.
But as a cliffhanger, I am intrigued.
Yeah, okay. That's
And
fair.
a lot of things have been set up,
Yeah.
which it would be interesting. Like it is going to be interesting if they make a part 2.
Yes. Before we dive into anything, we're gonna give our rating.
Yeah.
Because we want to do that before we talk about like the nitty gritty of this movie, just
Yep.
so if you haven't seen it yet, you kind of know our thoughts. But also before we do that, hit that subscribe button if
Yeah,
you're new
you
to our channel.
should.
Sorry if we're sick right now, but
We're sick. It's
we're
kind
usually
of a smoky
healthy
fire.
talking about a bunch of movies and TV shows by fire. So if you're into this vibe, we got you.
This is us.
This is us. If you're on podcast form, if you're listening on audio, hit that follow button. Maybe leave a review. Hit a like button if you're on YouTube. Maybe comment below what you think. Try not to be too mean in the comments because this can be controversial. But we're just doing our job here. So without further ado, Drew, here's our layout. Here's what we have. We have kind of our highest is go buy it on Blu-ray.
Right.
We have go watch it in theaters. We have go watch it on streaming. We have maybe watch it for free on Tubi, and then we have avoid at all costs. And these are not exactly like this one's 5 stars, this one's 3 stars, because I feel like a different movie can fit in a different category.
Yeah, it's true.
But where are you slotting Michael right now? And I think I know where I'm going to put this.
I'm going to say top tier family Friday night streaming movie.
Okay.
I think I could be swayed to go to the theater to see this movie.
I'm leaning theater. And here's why. It's because I think this movie is best experienced. And it's a good enough movie to go see in theaters.
Yes.
I think this is best experience in a theater.
Why?
The music. That's it. That's literally it.
But
And the performance. The performance is great. The dance is great. The music.
you can listen to Michael Jackson's music sung by Michael Jackson on your fancy headphones.
Right, but if we're talking about this specific movie,
Right.
and you're saying family movie night, most people don't have surround sound bar setup. Maybe a lot of people do.
True.
And if you have that, sure, watch this on streaming. Great. I would say, for most people, I would lean theater.
Okay, I can be convinced. I had a great time
Yeah.
watching it.
Okay.
There were lots of people in the theater. I saw it on a Sunday. So, like,
That's cool.
not really. I mean, still kind of opening weekend, but
Yeah. That's
yeah,
cool. Okay, wow. That's like,
I've been convinced.
for this controversial movie for us to rate this year is kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's very entertaining. The music is very good. The performances are good. Coleman Domingo, also great.
Yes.
Jaafar Jackson, incredible.
Yes.
Lots of entertainment value.
Yes.
Should this movie be made how it was?
Who knows?
We're about to get into it.
We are about to get into it. We're about to answer the question, which is probably why you clicked on this video. Were the critics right? And this is the whole thing. I think right now it's sitting around 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's crazy.
Let me fact check this, because I think that is a little ridiculous.
What is it on IMDb?
It's 38% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, look up IMDb. I'm going to give some backstory while Drew does this.
Okay.
Because I think this is important going into the critic side of this conversation.
7.7. That's
is
higher
interesting.
than I thought it
That
would
is
be.
higher than Rotten Tomatoes is giving it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this movie, one, obviously is about Michael Jackson, who has some crazy allegations against him. He was never convicted of anything. And so there's that kind of outlier of like, did he not? All of that. This movie is produced by Graham King. Graham King did Bohemian Rhapsody. Graham King does not have a good track record with movies. If you look at his movie list of producing, you say, that's not that great. Bohemian Rhapsody is not that good. I know that's going to rub some people wrong. I think Rami Malek's great. I think the music's great. I think some of the scenes are great. I think it does whitewash Freddie Mercury a little bit. And now, if people can argue that Michael does the same thing. Put a pin in that right now. This is supposed to encapsulate Freddie Mercury's life. And Freddie Mercury did some crazy stuff.
Right.
And this movie kind of says, he did it, but like, we don't really care about that part. And like, I'm sure he's still a great person and everything. But that's the critique of that movie is like, it's PG-13 and it probably shouldn't be. Michael's probably the same way. But Michael's a part one.
Allegedly.
Well, yeah, it is. We'll get into that. So Graham King produced this movie. I was already concerned about that.
Okay.
Knowing that he did that, I was like, that's not a good sign. Second, this is completely off topic. I've seen MJ the Musical. I saw it on Broadway. It was incredible. Have you seen MJ?
No.
MJ is incredible. MJ gets into what makes Michael tick. Like, what makes him a great performer? What makes him, like, a great musician? Why are his shows so good? Why is he so just well-known and well-liked and so well-respected in the music industry? All
Right.
that stuff. And they go into his childhood and everything. But they kind of get into that character thing that they don't avoid the allegations, but they don't really get up to that time. Like, it ends, I can't remember which tour it ends at, but it ends kind of around when the allegations are starting, so it doesn't really get into them, right? So MJ was done super, super well. I mean, there was a moment in the theater after the Thriller like musical number where in the middle of the show, people gave a 5-minute standing ovation. I'm not lying.
Wow.
It was incredible. Like, original cast, it blew my mind. So I knew that MJ could be done well. I've said that before. And then the production of this movie. This movie allegedly had an ending where at the end of the movie, the cops showed up. And like...
That would be crazy.
And like, that was the cliffhanger. And like, there's apparently stuff about the allegations in there. Now, who knows how much of that was like fabricated to kind of maybe soften the blow of this movie? I don't know. There's a lot of politicking that can be done here, but it's kind of a given fact that this movie delved into the allegations.
Right.
And then there was a legal clause that the Jackson estate and the producer of this movie did not realize existed or had forgotten about, and realized we cannot show certain aspects of the allegations at all. And so the Jackson estate paid for, I think, $10 to $15 million of reshoots, and they did the bad number, and they ended the movie, and they cut all the allegation stuff. And that was like kind of leaked / given to the public a few weeks in advance. So that's the backstory.
Okay.
That is, and I'm sorry, that was a lot. That's my little soapbox, but that's the backstory going into this movie. As soon as the embargo's lifted, the critics bombed this movie.
Yep.
Absolutely bombed this movie. And if you look at every single person, well, not every single, most of the people that bombed this movie, said this was a bad movie, is because they sanitized Michael Jackson, made him a saint, avoided the allegations. This movie ends in 1988, before any of the allegations really became a thing. So, Drew, my question for you is, are the critics right in bombing this movie?
If, and I say this as an if because I don't know.
Yes.
If this movie is a good representation of Michael Jackson up to 1988, then the critics are wrong.
Okay.
If it is a complete fabrication and a complete whitewashing of Michael Jackson, who he was, then I think this is a bad movie because it is based on historical events. But if there is a part 2, because in this movie,
at the end it says the story continues.
The story continues, but there's also like lots of setup for like an interesting discussion on who Michael really was in a second movie.
Yes.
He has a lot of childish tendencies.
Yes.
For like the whole, and like that is,
he's obsessed with Peter Pan.
That is touched on so many times in this movie, and he's also talking to lots of kids.
Yes. There's this setup for Neverland that just never comes to fruition.
Right.
Like, it kind of just says, like, we will resolve this later, and doesn't do anything with it.
So, as a part 1, I think this actually could be really interesting and really good.
Yeah. That's where I sit with this movie.
Okay.
Now, they have to figure out the legal stuff if they do part 2.
Right.
They might have to, like, just call it the allegations and kind of avoid some stuff with it to make it work.
Or just rename people or something.
Maybe. I don't know all
like,
the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Maybe they could reach a new agreement. Who knows? I don't know what they'll do. This movie is made by Michael's family, starring his nephew.
Yeah, that's another
If you're expecting this to kind of be like more nuance, it's probably not going to.
Yeah.
Maybe it will. Maybe a part 2 would blow my mind here. It's probably going to definitively say he didn't do anything, which is a lot of people's sentiment. I talked to my mom. She was like, I'm in the camp that I believe he didn't do anything.
I mean, yeah, again, I've done no research, so like I really don't know.
Which I think a lot of people probably go into this movie having done little to no research.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have done a lot, but I haven't done a ton, so I don't have a personal opinion. I'm trying to just watch a movie.
Yeah, Loki. I walked into the theater. I'm like, I'm here to be entertained.
Yes, and you got that.
I was entertained.
I'm going to agree with you and say I think the critics are wrong for bombing this movie. Now, I don't think this movie should. It's not a 5-star movie.
No, it's not.
But I think for a lot of people to give this a negative review because it sanitized Michael. Like, I understand what you're saying, but it literally stops. Like, the movie stops before we get there.
I think the critique is it stops before we get to anything the critics actually cared about.
Yes, and like,
which might be a problem with the critics.
If this is a one-off, I understand, but like, the movie literally says the story continues.
Right, yeah.
Like, it says that. I don't know what else you want.
So, I think this is a good part 1 with a TBD on are the critics right.
Yeah, I would agree. I think like if the part 2 sanitizes Michael, I would probably say this experience is bad.
Right.
Now, if it gets into a nuanced view of like, did he not, and kind of gets deeper into who's Michael the man,
right,
I am all for this.
Super interesting.
I think here's another take I have. I think this movie is marketed wrong.
Ooh, okay.
This movie is marketed as Michael the experience. Like, this is Michael Jackson. This is only half of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And this is really only about the rise of Michael Jackson, the pop star. That's like what 85% of this movie is about. And then a little bit of like his family stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like if this was marketed as the rise of Michael Jackson and the second one was the fall of Michael Jackson, which is a little bit of what the second movie will kind of be like.
That would be crazy.
Like, but think of it, if people frame this in their minds like that, I think they would be more on board with this movie.
Yeah.
But they didn't. This was just called Michael. So I don't know.
I think it's interesting.
Drew, or the audience is too easy on this movie? That's the flip side of this question.
I also kind of think yes.
Okay, how so?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at Rotten Tomatoes versus IMDb is currently 7.7.
I think that's more accurate to this movie.
Really? That's high. That feels high to me.
I think it's more accurate than Rotten Tomatoes.
No, I would agree. I think a solid
7.7 is like 3.5 stars. That feels right.
I feel like 7.3 is 3.5 stars.
7.5 is 3.5 stars.
Is it that, like?
Well, no, you're right. 7.5 is more like 4 stars.
I don't know.
No, 8's more like 4 stars. 7.5 is like 3.5.
This is relevant.
Okay.
This is pure vibes is what we're talking about. I don't know. I think a lot of the audience is here to be entertained and hear Michael Jackson's music and just get a general vibe of his life. So
yeah.
I think that is all here. I think as a movie, this is super formulaic. If you watch any biopic, it's like,
here's the bad manager.
Here's the bad manager.
Yeah.
Here's the rise. Oh, there's conflict with the manager, and he kind of flips the manager off and has his hurrah, and here we are.
And there's some form of addiction / drug
right.
/ thing, which is less touched upon in Michael, actually.
Right, it's true.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's not super interesting. We've seen that a gazillion times.
Even in the best biopics, it's still there.
Right, yeah. So, I don't know. I think as an audience member, your question is, what am I here for? If you're here for cinema, which is kind of where I was coming from as a movie lover, I wasn't disappointed, but I was like, well, this wasn't really it. If you're here because you like Michael Jackson, yeah.
This movie probably won't make my top 10 list of this year at the end of the year. But, like, I'm not going to sit here and hate it. Like, I would say it's good. Somebody asked me, how was Michael? I said, it's good.
Right.
So, that's where I land on it. I don't know.
I think that's where I land, too.
Yeah. Okay.
What is audience review on Rotten Tomatoes?
Oh, super high. It's like 97%.
See, that's too high.
It's like a pendulum swing.
That's too high.
I think there's a median somewhere
right.
that's, like, leaning more positive.
Yeah.
But, like, hey, we want more.
What is it on Letterboxd?
Dude, Letterboxd is going to I don't even know, dude.
I feel like Letterboxd is the people's place.
Follow us on Letterboxd, by the way.
Yeah, you should.
We're both on Letterboxd.
3.6. Perfect.
That's perfect.
I think that's perfect.
By the way, that's very similar to 7.7, but whatever.
It's what. Yeah, I think 3.6 is good.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I think I gave it 3.5 stars.
Yeah, you did.
About where I am.
I think that's where I'm going to land.
I think it's better than just like mid.
It's better than an average movie.
But it's not great.
Based on performances.
For me, 4 stars is great. It's not great.
Right.
I'd say it's like good to pretty good.
Yep, I agree.
That's where I'm at.
I agree.
So, let's talk about biopics in general. I know this is like shifting away from Michael, but brief conversation. By the way, it's biopic. Drew says biopic.
I know, guys.
It's just going to be what it is.
Okay, but also it's biography. So
that's
like
fair. I lean heavier on the pics.
Biopics. But what about biopics?
I understand. I understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
But if you say Lincoln Bio,
you want to know something?
You don't say Lincoln Bio.
I had this conversation while watching Michael. In my head, I'm like, I know I'm gonna get flamed. Is it biopic or biopic?
I
and then I'm like, it's
from.
biography, not biography.
But it's also Lincoln Bio, not Lincoln Bio.
I know, but that's a shortened word.
So it was biopic.
Okay.
Anyway,
we digress.
Where are we at with biopics? We have 4 Beatles.
I was about to say that.
We have a Snoop Dogg biopic.
We do?
Yeah, it's coming out.
Who knows?
The guy that plays Pope from Outer Banks is starring as Snoop Dogg. And that's actually pretty good casting.
Wild. That's crazy.
So where are we at with this?
Look, we gotta shake up the genre because I am bored out of my mind, and that's kind of where I am. If again, the same story has been told with a different skin, probably 10 times in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I would agree.
So,
and this might be bad. It feels a little Oscar baity.
Oh, it is.
And I think A Complete Unknown was a little bit less of like the formulaic story. Like it was.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It was the story itself was a little more. It was less of like this is Bob Dylan. This is an era of Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think it's very formulaic.
Yeah.
And I think that it's trying to be like, here's a famous actor playing a famous person.
Right.
Let's give them a gold trophy. Like, that's kind of how it feels. I don't know.
And I mean, again, from a performance perspective, it is always impressive.
No, yeah, Jaafar
I'm
kills
like,
it.
wow.
I want Jaafar to be nominated for an Oscar, and I'm going to say that right now. And I know some people are going to hate that. But like, I want him to.
Kind of hate. Well, again,
No, but he kills it. And what he is asked to do, he does great.
Right.
It's a super physical performance.
True.
It's great.
Again, he worked 3 years for this thing.
And also, like, to me, I know some people will disagree, but this doesn't feel like an impression. Like, it feels like a person.
Yeah.
So, like, I applaud that.
I don't think he should win. I'm okay with the nomination.
We'll see how the race shapes up.
We'll see.
I don't even know. Michael B. Jordan won for Sinners. Anything is possible. And I love that win, by the way. Don't hear me hating.
The 4 Beatles biopics, I think, is going to be
brutal.
the make or break of the genre. B,
I think it's going to break. The Ringo movie is going to be tough.
It is. That feels just like a pretentious and ambitious. That's what it feels.
And Sam Mendes is doing it.
And I
love
like Sam Mendes.
Like, he's great.
Like, he's good. 1917.
Greg Fraser is doing the cinematography on this.
I know.
That's really solid. The cast is great.
But why?
4.
Why 4?
2? Okay. 4? What?
Okay, maybe it's like super genre bending and really interesting. And I would be
Which
here
would
for
be
it.
kind of fair for the Beatles,
No,
honestly.
like I would be down. But if it is like the others,
It's kind of like you have to see it to believe it.
yeah.
Which I kind of like, from a certain extent, that Michael is now split into 2 movies because this is different.
This is different, right?
Like, if they make a second movie that's great, I will be like, this is a better biopic experience
100%.
than what we got in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yep, I agree.
No, I think there's other good ones. Like, I think Rocketman does a great job. It makes it like a musical. It's really interesting. He actually gets, like, Elton gets super into, here's where I struggled and here's how I got out of it.
Right.
Like, the genre tropes can be done well. But we're beating a dead horse at this point, in my opinion.
I agree.
So, where do we go from here?
Again, I think you have to be genre bending. I think Sam Mendes and Greg Fraser are, if it's going to be anyone, it could easily be them.
Yeah.
They are creative enough and have done interesting things in the cinema world where I'm like, they could take this in an interesting direction.
I mean, I completely agree.
But we can't keep telling the same story.
I don't
87 times.
How is the Oscars race going to work? Who's going to get nominated for Best Actor? Who's going to get nominated for Best Supporting?
That's
I have no idea. It's going to be funny. What if all 4 of them get nominated for Best Actor? Wouldn't that be wild?
There's no way.
Wouldn't that be crazy? There's no way, but wouldn't that be crazy?
Oh, it is wild.
Okay, no, I agree. I think, like, either let the genre die or let it reinvent itself. I think this is
good.
The Pharrell Williams one where he got super creative. The Weird Al one. Wow, I cannot talk. The Weird Al one is great. Like, that movie is hilarious. There's great versions of them. They just are hard to find.
They're hard to find.
They're diamonds in the rough.
I think the Snoop Dogg one could be also interesting.
Yeah.
You could make that something fun to watch.
He said it's going to be R-rated. I'm like, honestly, Snoop Dogg.
I think you have to be.
What else did you do besides smoke weed? I don't know. No, that one probably could get crazy. I don't know.
I was thinking while watching the trailers, I'm like, in 30 years, are we going to have like a Taylor Swift? Are we going to like Kendrick Lamar? Like
probably Drake.
And Drake. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
I do not want to watch.
The Weeknd.
I would watch a Weeknd biopic.
I know you would.
A Weeknd and Kendrick. I would be front row.
I'm not even a big 21 Pilots fan. I feel like a 21 Pilots biopic would be awesome. I will say that.
I totally agree.
Okay, so that's the thing. That's the thing.
And here's the thing. Okay.
That's why the genre won't die. That's why it will keep going. Because we'll show up to them. Dang it.
I know. And like, there's so many old people in the theater. And I'm like, this movie isn't made for me.
It's going to be us. Also, old people is going to offend so many people. My mom was a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Okay, but they're like old people.
No, yeah, I agree.
Or like middle-aged people. And I'm like this movie is not made for a 21-year-old. It's like, I think it could be because Michael Jackson is so iconic, but like Bob Dylan, Elton John, Bohemian Rhapsody,
yes,
these are made for generations above us. So when we're 40 and they're like, make a Taylor Swift biopic, it's going to make a freaking gajillion dollars.
And that's the thing, like, these are also kind of like, if you make these right, these are just money.
Or even if you make them fine.
Well,
if the performance is good.
When I say make them right, I mean, like, if you don't overspend on them. That's
okay, yeah. Okay.
Like, if you budget well for this, which obviously they did for Michael, because this will be a net positive.
Right.
Like, I don't know. You can make a lot of money with this. So
I mean, like, yeah. Honestly, I might say this might be a bold claim. This might be the most safe bet from a studio perspective.
This
genre.
Oh, this genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like because it's not that hard
This
to
and
make.
Colleen Hoover movies. Gosh darn it.
Low-key. The performance has to be good. I think that's the only.
That's the only stipulation. And
Only stipulation.
You literally get an A-list actor or just somebody who's really freaking good and under the radar. And then you get an A-plus performance in a B movie. Not B movie, but like a B-tier movie. Not the B movie with Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
It's late, guys. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with biopics. I have no idea.
Bro, we're going to really scrape the bottom of the barrel if, like, we start making actor.
No, but, dude,
like
there's literally a biopic coming out. Well, kind of a biopic. There's a movie coming out about the making of Rocky.
A movie.
A movie about the making of Rocky the movie.
A fictional narrative-ish.
No,
so, like, we're casting...
A biographical...
It's not like a documentary, though.
No, they casted somebody as Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, that's wild.
Now, the story about making Rocky is great. It's like, this is cool. But, like, we're going to get more of this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's a Cary Grant biopic coming out. Like, it's going to happen.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Genuinely, this is going to happen.
That's wild.
And, like, at a certain point, we're becoming iterative, guys. Like,
yeah, like,
we are retreading history. Now, I think it can be cool, but, like, we can't beat a dead horse here.
No.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. I think this genre can be interesting. I think it hasn't been. And I think if it continues to not be, I will lose interest. But also, I don't think it's going to make less money than it has. Like, I think with, like, MCU and, like, other genres that are kind of fading, I think this one is enough. All you got to do is switch who it's about. And
make it somebody more modern.
You get a whole new audience of people.
Yeah.
Baked into that movie.
Oh, 100%.
As opposed to MCU, where it's like, it's the same audience. It is losing faith. There's not a audience who loves biopics.
Yeah.
It's like, I love Michael Jackson.
Artist. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I will say, I think it's funny how, because there's genre tropes to these biopics, which, like, yes, it's because they're movies, but also because basically every very rich, famous musical artist got into drugs and had a bad manager. Like, I think it's funny. Like, obviously that's terrible. I'm not laughing at their expense. But, like, there's a trend here also with real people.
Right. It's like,
that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Maybe that should be addressed. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
No, it should. That's
just
terrible.
saying. That's my 2 cents there. I'm not famous, so. Drew, you were at a party.
I'm at a party.
Guys, this is our party question. You were at a party, Drew, and it is just a chill birthday party.
Okay.
You walk in.
Yeah.
You don't know a lot of people.
Right.
And this movie, Michael, 2026 Michael,
Okay.
is on the TV.
Yep.
Not a bad party movie, in my opinion.
No, I think this is a good party movie.
Are you sitting down to watch it?
No.
None of it.
Well,
like, if the thriller scene is on, are you watching it?
Yeah, I think I would try to socialize first.
Yeah, okay.
If that's fails.
Okay.
If I'm awkward, if it's just not my day.
Yeah.
I'm sitting down to watch a movie.
Okay.
It would be entertaining, but I think I would choose socializing first, as opposed to other movies where I'd be like, I don't know a lot of people. I'm going to sit down and watch this movie.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I'll maybe try to start a conversation using the movie.
Ooh.
But I would try to start a conversation away from Michael Jackson because I don't know a lot about Michael Jackson.
Also, like, the allegations could totally get heated.
Yeah, like that could be a bad conversation.
Honestly, if you're still here, our comment section could be horrendous. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea.
Yes,
we'll
true.
do some damage control, maybe.
Be nice, be respectful, have a conversation, sure, but be respectful.
Critique us, but don't, like, hate us. We had somebody call our opinions jaded and crap, except they didn't use crap. Like, that's not nice.
And we're shifting gears completely. There are some Daredevil Born Again stans.
And then
y'all are some warriors.
And hey, all power to you.
100%.
You might be wrong, but all power to you.
We can agree to disagree here. It's the one line.
Yeah, we can.
We're all about unity.
We are. Drew, I have a stipulation for this question.
Okay.
Let's say this chill birthday party is a Michael Jackson birthday party. What do you do? the gloves. People have the hats. The music is playing, and they're like, "Hey, this movie's on." Some people are watching it. Some people aren't.
I would walk into the jeans and t-shirt, and they'd be like, "You do not belong here." I would start a conversation about Michael Jackson. I would be like, "All right, do you think Jaafar Jackson had a good performance?"
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
that's so easy.
Yeah.
That's perfect. And they're gonna say yes.
And they're gonna say
and
yes.
You just won points with this Michael Jackson crowd. Okay, all right, that checks out. Drew, what do we have coming up next?
We got a gauntlet for y'all.
A great,
in a good way, the best way,
amazing way.
May 4th, we're starting a Star Wars marathon. We're going through every Star Wars movie. We'll touch on the shows, but we'll mainly be focusing on the 11 movies.
Somewhere in there.
Including Solo and Rogue One. It's going to be great. That is going to be our most heated episode, I guarantee it. By that I mean
The Last Jedi.
Episode 8. Because
we're building this one up. What if we just agree?
We're not going to agree.
I don't know.
Have you changed your mind?
I exist in a gray area with The Last Jedi.
Okay, this is good. It'll be interesting.
But you need to
I do not.
Yeah.
I exist in
it is.
in a black and white, and I know which side I'm on.
Okay. Well, you know how it is.
But yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think we will disagree more than we agree.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
If you have Star Wars hot takes, we're going to do a post on that, but comment those below if you're still here. Also, Devil Wears Prada 2 comes out this week.
It's true.
And there may be a special guest on the podcast. Just forewarning you. We might actually have a third person on this podcast.
For the first time in over 100 episodes.
Yeah, that's true. And the first time in almost a year.
Well, actually, just straight up in the first time of Soul My Line history.
Yes.
It's only ever been us.
Yes, it's true. It's true. So, hit the subscribe button if you're into Devil Wears Prada 2, because we're going to be reviewing that. We have House of Dragon. We have Spider-Man and the Odyssey.
Backrooms.
Ton of great stuff.
Doom. Avengers.
I mean, like, movies are coming out this year. TV shows are coming out this year. We're watching.
It's true. We will be here.
Supergirl?
Supergirl. The trailer. I saw it. I was like, I'd seen it before, but I was like, I will go see that movie.
We have to. But
it was like I'll go see it because I want to.
Huh.
Not because I have to.
Okay.
Even though I do have to.
You do have to.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what we got that coming up.
We do.
We got a lot of stuff coming up. We're going to get off this podcast. We've been talking too long. Thank you for being with us. Please take a break.
And enjoy a film.